Hello, I'm Chris Reeve, the Digital Content Manager from Digital Boss, and welcome to the 16th episode of Social Sessions. Today I'm here with Matt Sykes from Sales Cadence to talk about how to seamlessly integrate selling into your social media strategy. This is going to be good. Are you ready for it? Let's go. Matt, nice to see you.
Chris, thank you for inviting me.
No, thanks so much for coming on. First of all, would you mind just telling our audience a little bit about yourself and your business, Sales Cadence?
Certainly. Sales Cadence is a sales training company. I founded it in 2017. I created the business, Chris, because I was working in the training industry for a couple of years in 2014, 15 and 16, and I was having a lot of fun. I was really enjoying delivering training, but I was finding that I wasn't always particularly strong at creating new leads. When those leads came in, I wasn't really always converting them into sales. And as a result of that, the business was not progressing at the speed I'd like it to. So I thought to myself, right, I'm going to stop doing that stuff. I'm going to sit down and work out exactly how to help people buy from me, which is what I did. And ultimately, Sales Cadence is the byproduct of that thought process, really.
I know, having been on your course, which was amazing, early plug, that you know so much. I'm so excited to pick your brains today. So let's get into the first question. Matt, selling on social media, would you say it's a vital ingredient as part of the mix for biz dev professionals now?
100% yes. I think what we should really do though is quantify what when we talk about social selling, which is ultimately the conversation that we're having today, we need to really quantify what that means, because I don't think anybody ultimately is selling directly through social media. I think what social selling really is a process to allow you to have conversations which lead to sales. So it's absolutely a fundamental part of business development, and it's probably one of a number of things that we can bring into the game, if you like, to help us get people involved with what we've got. What I think is really, really important in today's world is that, because if you think about it, there's stats out there, Chris, that would suggest the sale, 60-70% of the sales already been done by the buyer behind their desk on their iPhone.
Update your LinkedIn profiles.
Before they decide to go and engage with someone like you or someone like me. So the challenge everybody's got in the world of selling, or anybody who runs a business, anybody who's got responsibility for growing sales for their company, the question I think that we should ask is, how are you going to infiltrate that 70%? Because if you can't get inside the conversation that's going on inside the buyer's head while they're behind their laptop, you kind of lose. Because if you then relate what 70% is in terms of what we call the sales process, that's around about the bit where someone asks you what your price is. And it's the most hideous conversation to have.
So to be clear, you have to be on social media if you're in biz dev these days. Because there's still people, believe it or not, Matt, that aren't on social media.
I would be amazed if there's anybody out there who thinks that you can grow your business in 2019 without being online.
Good. Matt, dying to ask you this question. What is your favourite platform for lead generation for your business, say?
For me, it's LinkedIn.
Okay.
Has to be LinkedIn. It's the professional social platform. 610 million users the last time I checked, which is phenomenal when you think about it. So you have access to 500 million people.
Still going up, yep.
Yeah, now clearly not all those people are going to buy from you, but what it does give you is a fantastic opportunity to go and engage with that wonderful thing we call the ideal customer profile, the typical customer that's right for your business. And you can go and effectively network online. And you can be incredibly creative. I mean, let's be honest about it, we're all our own individual movie company, aren't we? Or our own TV station.
Yeah, sure.
So if you're willing to go out there and invest a bit of time, LinkedIn is the perfect business platform for my business. And
do you think that LinkedIn is a platform that's just for people in the B2B world, or do you think it can work for B2C lead gen as well?
Oh, we can work for both, there's no doubt about it. But again, go back to that original question that we had. We just need to be mindful of the fact that we can't just lump ourselves onto LinkedIn, stick a post out there and think we're going to win some business, because it doesn't work like that.
That's why we do what we do.
Correct. There's an immense amount of strategy that needs to go behind that thought process. But for me personally, as far as Sales Cadence is concerned, my ideal customer is a sales director or a CEO. I know those people are on LinkedIn. I effectively target them directly for that reason, and I deliver content which I would like to think engages them.
Matt, everyone has had this message that sales guy or sales girl that's messaging them and spamming on LinkedIn? How do you avoid being that person? Because what's the golden ticket to being proactive but not spamming on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I've got quite a key point I'd like to make at the start, which is those people who are being laced as salespeople who are spamming you are not salespeople. Because salespeople who are professionally trained do not spam. Okay, what you're effectively receiving there is spam from an idiot. Because, well, I mean, check the conversion rate on the immediate connect then spam, and it's probably pretty low, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And Einstein's theory of insanity is doing the same things over and over and getting the same results. So kind of check conversion and change that.
I don't think LinkedIn are helping with that actually, because recently they've of course added the add a note with connection at the start. Are you adding a note to your original connection?
What you mean? So when you connect, you put a little hi, I'm Matt.
Are you doing that?
Well, do you know what? It's really interesting because I used to up until about 2 months ago.
Amazing, good for you.
But I've also seen some conflicting advice which says everyone's bored of that nonsense now. Just do the normal connect regardless. And I've tried both, and both are effective. So again, another key point I guess is, maybe we'll talk about it later, but it's really important to test and measure stuff. How do you stop?
I agree with that.
How do you stop spamming? You stop spamming by doing one really, really interesting thing. You learn to sell. Because when you learn how to sell, you know that the first thing you won't be doing is spamming. You'll also know the fact that most.
But it's a numbers game, right, Matt?
Well, let me give you some numbers. 8 to 12 touches is a key couple of numbers, because statistics will show that a meaningful sales conversation can only happen after you and I have met 5, 6, 7, 8 times. We don't have to meet face to face. We can meet online a number of times. We can swap some conversations.
7 touch points, totally
we can speak on the phone. We might go and have a coffee. We might go and have a pint.
At Redwell?
We could well be having a pint at Redwell. But it's not until we get into the 8th or 9th that you and I start thinking, do you know what, there's something in this Chris guy. He seems to be okay. I think there's a link. Maybe we can do some business together. Spamming happens on number 1. So let's be clear, only an idiot would carry on spamming, because things don't happen until 8 or 9. Why would you do it at 1?
I've got a little top tip, guys, for you listening and watching. Currently, I'm not adding a note to my connection request because I think it's so much more authentic and organic and at a much more human pace to connect, hold off for a few days, and then have your nice warm welcome message. Do not sell on your first message. Would you agree with that?
100% agree. And I would also say as well, and I'm guilty of this in the past, I'm better now. I'm also guilty of connecting with somebody. So I connect with Chris, and then I wait a couple of days and I say, Chris, we connected a week ago. Just want to introduce you to, my world, but more importantly, what's happening in your world. And then we may or may not get some conversation going that way. But in the past, I'm being guilty then of connecting and then forgetting about that person. And it's like,
that's why you need a strategy.
Exactly. Why would you do that? Why would you connect with someone, have a conversation, and then completely ignore them?
Great advice. Right, Matt, straight away, you've not got long.
Okay.
3 tips for selling on social media. Sock it to the camera.
3 tips. First one is help, don't sell. I know that sounds strange, but no one sells on social media. Social media is there to warm up the conversation. Help people by providing them with valuable information that helps them improve what they do off the back of the work that you do, if that makes sense. So help, don't sell. The second thing I would say is have a strategy. Don't be that person who just every now and again decides to jump on and post a few things and expect miracles to happen. That doesn't work. I tried that experiment. So have a strategy and maybe have a campaign. Say you sell, I don't know, if you're launching something in 3 weeks' time, then have a lead in and say to yourself, right, over the next 10 days leading up to 3 weeks, I'm going to be posting some really relevant information. That would be my second one. And my third one is blooming obvious, which is be persistent and consistent. Again, if you turn up for 1 week and have a go and nothing happens and you stop, people will quickly forget you. 3 times a week, post something that's valuable for the other person. Do that every single week for 52 weeks. Trust me, your business will go through the roof.
I've lost my job after that. Matt, how can people get in touch with you?
Best 2 ways would be LinkedIn for sure.
Good
if you're already
man.
connected on LinkedIn, let's keep talking, and if you're not, connect with me. And the second thing would be through the website, www.salescadence.co.uk.
Plug.
Plug the Sales Cadence podcast.
Ooh.
So have a listen to the podcast, goes out every 2 weeks.
That is an amazing podcast, by the way. Seriously, guys, I've listened to all of them now and they have been absolute fire. They've been incredible. Matt, thank you so much for coming on today.
You're welcome, Chris.
Top man.